In this session, we want to talk about taper and wave options. These are updated options for a stroke. In this session, we will explain how to use these options and their applications in projects. I have created a stroke here since taper and wave options are used for strokes. I open its contents. In a stroke parameter, under dash parameter, you can see taper and wave parameters. Taper is used to make the start and end of a stroke thinner. Open taper. The first parameter is length units. Using this parameter, you can set your taper based on percent or pixels. I set it on percent. Start length is used to make the starting point of the stroke narrower. As I increase this value, it becomes narrower from the start point. When it is 100, start taper continues to the end. And if you change it to pixel, its highest value is 600 pixels. If you decrease it, it will become thicker. It applies taper from the starting point based on pixel. I change it to percent and set this to 100. So start length is for starting point, and end length is for end point. I set both of them to 50. Using start width, you can change the width of a stroke's starting point. End width is for its end width as well. Start ease softens the starting point, and end ease softens the end point. These were parameters for taper option. Let's go to wave. Wave, as its name implies, makes the stroke wavy. Open wave. The first parameter is amount. It makes these waves. You can set the amount of the waves. The next parameter is unit. Unit creates waves based on pixel. It makes one wave every 100 pixels. As you increase this number, your waves will decrease. The next parameter is cycle. You can set how many waves should a path have. For example, I set it to 3. You see, 1, 2, 3. The last parameter is phase. You can animate your wave using this parameter. Now that you are introduced to wave and taper, let's go to the examples. The first example is making such trays for the ship, and also make these clouds. So we want to create this case. To create this, I delete the shape trace and create them again to completely understand how to use these options. I create a stroke here. After creating the stroke, increase its width. I move it beneath the shape layer and move it down. Now change its color to pink. Open Contents, Shape. Open a stroke and then set the start length to 100%. Increase its start width. Increase the stroke size a bit more. Now open wave and increase its amount. Change it to cycle and set it to 3. Now to have a continuous animation, alt-click on the stopwatch of the phase. Type time expression for its phase. You see, the animation of the ship trace is created so easily. Let me increase its start width a bit more. That's better now. Now duplicate this shape. Open a stroke. Change its color to a lighter color. Move it beneath the first shape and increase its width. It will be better if it's a bit lighter. Now duplicate this shape again. Move it above the first shape and decrease its width. Then open Wave. Change Cycle to 5. Increase its wave to create such line in the middle. Increase its amount a bit more, change it to 100. To create two other lines here, let me change its name to Wave. Duplicate this layer, open it, delete shape 3 and shape 1 and only keep shape 2. Open a stroke, increase its width, open taper, change its start. Let's have a look. Now rename layer to Waveline. Duplicate this layer, change Waveline's stroke color to white, apply alpha inverted matte to it. You see, this is created. Open contents of the Waveline 2 and decrease the stroke width a bit. So easily we created this waveline as well. Now we want to create such clouds. Let me hide these. To create these clouds, I create a stroke. Decrease its width. Rename the layer to cloud. Open its stroke. Set the start length to 40. Set end length to 60. Now open Wave and increase its amount. And make its start a bit softer. And its end is okay. Alt-click on stopwatch of the phase and type time expression for its phase. It is a bit fast. Set it to -50. Now we should create a layer for the matte of the cloud. Disable its stroke and enable its fill. Rename the layer to Matte Layer. Now apply alpha invert to the cloud to only see the part which is out of the shape. Let's have a look. So we can do such a things with the clouds using taper and wave. Then move it to the comp and do the same thing that we've done with these layers and create a drop shadow for it. So we can use taper and wave for these kinds of things. Let's go to the next example. The coffee cup example. You can create such a stream for the coffee. Let's create it. It's really easy. I will show you now. Click here. Holding down Shift, click again here out of the scene. Then disable Fill and enable the stroke. Change the stroke width as you wish its end to be. It's good to be this much. Then open its contents. Delete its fill. Open Taper. Set its start length to 100%. Increase its start width. Now open Amount and set it to 50. I think it's better to be on 35. Type time expression for its phase. Then we want to steam fades as it goes up. So select the layer, open the stroke and select linear gradient. Here you can select the color you want, like red. You see, we don't have any red color here, because we should set up these handles. To see the handles, select Gradient Stroke and click on Pan Behind tool. Then move the start here at the end button of the stroke and move the end up. Now, as you see, start is white and end is red. We don't want the red color, we want white. Here its color can be selected, and from this part you can change its opacity. I want to set its end opacity to 0. You can set your opacity gradient using this handle. I move it a bit down. Okay, let's see. Yes, it's okay. I should move this layer below the coffee cup layer. Then when the coffee cup stops, it should start coming out of this hole. To do this, move the starting point of the layer here that its door is fixed on the coffee cup. Open Gradient Stroke. We should animate end point in Y-axis. As I move it down, it fades. Create a keyframe for it. Go 20 frames forward, then move it up again. Let's see. It's a bit fast. We want to decrease its opacity in the beginning, so open Gradient and set the beginning opacity to 50. It's fine. Good luck.